Imagine you're holding a coin in your hand, a coin so rare, so elusive, so priceless, that it has the power to transform your entire life. What if I told you that this coin, which looks like just another forgotten relic, could be worth more than most people will ever make in their entire lives? Intrigued? You should be. Because today, right here on Secret of US Coins, we're about to reveal the top 3 most valuable Washington quarters. Coins so rare, they are considered to be like finding a hidden treasure in the very palm of your hand. Stay tuned, because one of these could be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket right now. And believe me, you won't believe the price these coins are reaching today. These are the kind of coins that don't just change your collection, they change your financial future. But here's the real twist. In just a few seconds, we'll dive deep into the first ultra-rare Washington quarter. A coin so scarce, its price is skyrocketing at an astonishing rate. Are you ready? Let's get started. Coin number 1. Now let me take you back in time. The year is 1962, and while most of the world was focusing on the Cold War, space exploration, and the rise of rock and roll, something extraordinary was happening in the world of coins. There was an unassuming coin, a simple Washington quarter, that would eventually defy expectations and become one of the most sought-after pieces in the numismatic world. This coin, the 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark, is known for its subtle yet unmistakable rarity. At first glance, it may seem like just another standard quarter, but dig a little deeper and you will realize that this coin is far from ordinary. What makes it truly exceptional is its lack of a mint mark. You see, coins without a mint mark are often the result of a special production issue, and in this case, it was never intended to be as rare as it would become. But why is this coin so significant? What makes it so valuable? Let me explain. Let's start with the history and composition of this coin. In 1962, the United States Mint produced billions of Washington quarters to meet the growing demand for change in the economy. However, a small batch of these quarters was struck without a mint mark, an oversight that would go unnoticed by many. The 1962 Washington quarter is composed primarily of 90% silver with a small percentage of copper. Silver was a key material in American coinage for decades, and it adds a level of rarity to this coin that is simply unmatched. But it's not just the silver content that makes it valuable. It's the historical scarcity and the mysterious nature of its production. What's even more fascinating is that this coin isn't just valuable because of its age. It's rare because over time, collectors realized that it was an anomaly in the minting process. The absence of a mint mark on a coin that should have had one, it's like stumbling upon a hidden treasure chest that no one knew existed. Now, you might be wondering what makes this coin even more special than it already sounds. Let's talk about its unique features. First of all, the design. The Washington quarter is well known for its classic design, a profile of George Washington on the obverse, with the majestic eagle on the reverse. But this particular 1962 quarter stands out because of its flawless strikes, even in a fine condition. The sharpness of Washington's face, the elegance of the eagle, these details are what make collectors salivate over this coin. The coin's patina, known as the black layer or toning, is also a crucial aspect that adds to its mystique. Over time, the coin's surface begins to take on a dark, almost mysterious sheen. This layer isn't just visually striking, it's a sign of its age, its journey through time, and the fact that it has survived decades without being worn down by circulation. Here's the kicker. The rarity of the 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark lies in its condition. While many of these coins have been lost to time or heavily circulated, The ones that have been preserved in a fine condition are nearly impossible to find. Most of them are sitting in private collections, carefully guarded and treated as priceless treasures. The condition of the coin is paramount when it comes to determining its value. A coin in fine condition, like the one we're talking about here, is a rarity in itself. Coins that remain in this state have survived over 60 years of being passed around, yet still retain their crisp details. And that brings us to the collector demand. This is the moment where things start to heat up, folks. Now, you won't believe this, but the market value of this coin has been rising at an astronomical rate. As of today, this ultra-rare, black-layered 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark in fine condition is valued at a jaw-dropping $148,500. Yes, you heard that right, $148,500. To put it in perspective, that's enough to buy yourself a home, pay off your debts, or even live comfortably for years just from owning a single coin. But here's the catch. This coin's value isn't just sitting still. It's increasing day by day as more collectors realize the scarcity and the historical importance of these quarters. Let me tell you something. This is no fiction. This is the reality of rare coin collecting. When you hold a coin like this, you are holding a treasure, a tangible piece of history. The value will only continue to climb as fewer and fewer of these coins remain in circulation. So, what should you look for if you are hoping to score a coin like this? Here are some important tips. First, condition is everything. A 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark, in excellent or fine condition, is extremely rare, so be prepared to pay top dollars. Second, patience is key. It may take time to find one of these gems in the wild, but when you do, make sure you get it appraised by an expert. And third, research the market. The value of these coins is constantly fluctuating, so keep an eye on auctions and collectors' shows to spot a good deal. The 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark is a perfect example of how, in the world of rare coins, value isn't just about what the coin is made of, but the story it tells and the rarity it holds. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, this coin is a must-have for any serious collection. And remember, Secret of US Coins brings you the most trusted, most up-to-date information on coins every single day. We're here to guide you to the treasures that others might overlook. Keep watching, stay tuned, and who knows, you might just find the next big jackpot coin sitting in your change jar. Coin number 2. Now, if you thought the last coin was impressive, just wait until you hear the story behind this next one. We're about to go even deeper into a coin so rare, so elusive, so drenched in history that many collectors spend a lifetime searching for it. This is a coin that survived war, depression, and the passage of nearly an entire century. And today it could be worth a fortune. Let me introduce you to the 1934 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark, with a haunting black shade and in rare fine condition. Let's turn the pages of history back to 1934. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Banks were collapsing. Families were struggling. The dollar was gasping for breath. But amidst that chaos, the U.S. Mint was producing a small number of Washington quarters that would, unknowingly, become treasures of the future. That's where our story begins. This wasn't just a coin, it was a lifeline in people's pockets. A piece of metal that bought bread, paid bus fares, or was tossed into wishing wells with silent hopes for a better tomorrow. But somehow, some way, a very limited number of these 1934 quarters were struck without any mint mark. Most people didn't notice. Why would they? To them, it was just 25 cents. But to you, To the trained eye of a collector, this detail changes everything. Let's talk about the composition and design. The 1934 Washington quarter was part of the early run of quarters that still carried 90% silver. Yes, real silver, the kind that today adds tremendous intrinsic value. It weighs 6.25 grams, but don't be fooled by the lightness. This isn't just silver, it's solid historical currency. On the obverse, we see the dignified profile of George Washington, modeled after the Jean-Antoine Houdon bust. The reverse, that proud American eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows and olive branches, power and peace, side by side. But what sets this particular coin apart is the absence of the mint mark, which should have been present if it was struck in Denver or San Francisco. The lack of one confirms this was struck in Philadelphia, but even then, not all Philly coins are created equal. And that brings us to the mystery, the shade. This coin's surface carries a deep, natural black shade, known to collectors as silver toning, but in this case, it's something even more dramatic. It's a shade only time can paint. It formed as the coin lay dormant, untouched, undisturbed, tucked away in a drawer, a coin purse, or even buried in forgotten earth. This isn't dirt. This isn't damage. This is proof of survival, a patina that whispers the decades it has seen. Collectors crave this because it tells a story, and stories sell. Now let's talk about rarity and condition. Most 1934 quarters have been lost to circulation, damaged, or melted down. But a coin from that year without a mint mark, with the natural black toning and in fine condition, that's the trifecta. That is exactly what elite collectors spend years hunting for. You're not going to find this coin lying around in circulation anymore. You won't find it in your everyday change. And if you see one that even remotely resembles this, hold on to it for dear life. This is not just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime artifact. A whisper from 90 years ago, now shouting in today's auction rooms. And speaking of auction rooms, brace yourself. Because this 1934 Washington quarter without mint mark, in black shade and fine condition, has now reached a staggering, earth-shaking $185,500 in today's rare coin market. Yes, $185,500. This is not fiction. This is real, recorded, shorted, verified market value. And it's not slowing down. This coin's worth is skyrocketing day by day, with investors, historians, and collectors all scrambling to get their hands on one. Owning this coin is like having a vault of value. It's a big money coin, a big treasure coin, a life-changer coin. Let me be absolutely clear, when you hold a 1934 Washington quarter like this, you're not holding 25 cents. You're holding the key to a world of opportunity, a world where history meets wealth, a world where a simple coin turns into a monumental treasure. Now, if you're hoping to hunt down one of these treasures, here's how to start. First, know what to look for. No mint mark, strong, visible detail, even in fine condition, and a black or dark toning that isn't artificial. These natural signs of aging actually increase value dramatically. Second, buy only from trusted dealers or certified auctions. For a coin like this, authentication is key. Don't risk dealing with fakes or unverified pieces. Protect your investment. Third, store it like a treasure. Use airtight cases, climate-controlled safes, and never clean it. The natural toning is part of its value. This isn't just a hobby, it's an investment. A long-term, high-return history-backed financial asset. The 1934 Washington quarter, with no mint mark, a haunting black shade, and preserved in fine condition, isn't just a coin, it's a time traveler. A forgotten whisper from a time when America was rebuilding itself, now reborn into the numismatic spotlight. Its value today, massive. Its potential, even greater. This is why you stay connected to this channel, Secret of US Coins. Because we bring you the truth, the rare, and the richest discoveries in American coin history. We are not just another channel. We are a faithful source for collectors who want facts, fire, and financial gold from forgotten metals. So if you are still watching, congratulations. You're not just a viewer, you're a treasure hunter. And remember, coin number 3 is coming next, and it might just be the most valuable one yet. So don't go anywhere. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay with us. Because what is coming next will absolutely shock you. Coin number 3. You've made it this far, and now we've arrived at the final coin in today's episode. But don't think for a second that we're winding down, because what you're about to witness might just be the most breathtaking, most visually striking, and most emotionally powerful quarter in this entire video. Let me ask you something. What would you say if I told you there is a coin out there that not only survived the fire of war, the turbulence of history, and the wear of time, but came out on the other side more beautiful, more valuable, and more sought after than ever before? It exists, and it's not fiction. It's the 1944 Washington quarter dollar, struck with the S-mint mark, layered in a deep black natural tone, shining like a buried treasure, pulled straight from the vault of American history. This is no ordinary coin. This is a symbol of survival, a remnant of a turning point in world history. And today it is worth more than most people would ever dare to believe. Let's dive in. The year was in 1944. The world was deep in the shadows of World War II. Soldiers were crossing oceans. Civilians back home were rationing food, growing victory gardens, buying war bonds, and pouring their hopes into a future of peace. But back at the San Francisco Mint, something else was being created. The 1944 Washington quarter, struck with the S-mint mark, made from 90% pure silver. You see, in a time when America was focused on building tanks and aircraft, the United States. Mint was still producing coinage to keep the economy moving. But due to metal conservation, wartime restrictions, and resource scarcity, only limited numbers of these quarters were made, and even fewer survived today in collectible conditions. This quarter is not just another Washington profile on a coin. It's a wartime relic, cast from 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it a solid weight and undeniable shine. The obverse shows Washington's determined face, a perfect symbol of American resolve. On the reverse, that mighty bald eagle perched on arrows and olive branches stands taller than ever, as if ready to take flight into history. And what makes this coin pop, what makes it command collector obsession, is its black layer. That beautiful, smooth, naturally aged toning wraps the surface like velvet, giving it a depth and texture that modern coins just don't have. This isn't dirt. This isn't damage. This is decades of evolution, the signature of time itself. This is what collectors live for. A coin with a story and a face. But let's talk facts. The 1944 S. Washington quarter is rare, not just because of its age, but because of its combination of condition, mint mark, and toning. Most quarters from this era were worn to dust, spent, exchanged, lost, or melted for their silver value. But this one, it survived. In fine condition, with sharp details still present. That alone makes it a rare find. Add the S Mint mark, proof that it came from the San Francisco Mint, a facility known for limited wartime production. And you have got something collectors dream about. But the real cherry on top? That stunning black layer. It's an organic transformation, a chemical dance between silver and air over decades. And it increases value exponentially. The coin becomes more than money, it becomes a relic, a museum piece, a legacy. So what is the value of this historical silver, rich wartime-toned treasure? As of today, and this is fresh, verified, and red-hot from recent auctions, a 1944 S Washington quarter, with black toning and fine condition, is valued at a mind-blowing $160,500. Yes, $160,500. That's not hype. That's the real market. The demand is outpacing the supply. Collectors and investors are pouring in. This coin's value is not just high, it's still climbing. Slowly, surely, relentlessly. If you come across one, don't blink. Because what you're holding isn't just a piece of silver, it's a vaulted treasure disguised as pocket change. So how do you position yourself to find, buy, or protect one of these quarter-dollar titans? Here's the smart collector advice. Look for the letter S mint mark, just below the wreath on the reverse. That alone adds prestige and rarity. Check for natural black toning. Don't polish it. Don't clean it. Authentic toning means time and value. Fine condition is the sweet spot. Legible details, defined eagle feathers, Washington's profile visible. And finally, verify authenticity with reputable dealers or certified graders. A coin like this deserves to be slabbed and sealed. This isn't just coin collecting, it's historical asset hunting. It's a future fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1944 S Washington quarter is a coin born during one of the most intense chapters in world history. And forged in silver, aged in silence, and now erupting in value. What began as 25 cents has transformed into a six-figure legacy. You've just witnessed three of the most powerful, rare, and in-demand Washington quarters in existence today, and the journey doesn't stop here. This is what we do at Secret of US Coins. We don't just show you coins, we reveal hidden treasures that others overlook. We are faithful, trustful, and update you with fresh discoveries every single day. No rumors. No fluff. Just real coins. Real value. Real history. So, if you're serious about coin collecting, if you're hunting for the next piece of financial gold, or if you just wanted to know what is hiding in that old jar of change in the attic, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join our community of treasure seekers. Because here at Secret of US Coins, one coin can change everything.